Okay, well, just thought I'd make a video real quick. You see the gameplay in the background, so you already know what time it is. Shadow Blasphemous HD, I missed that whole era of time. But I just had to make a video real quick. I just wanted to talk. I'm gonna be dropping more Dragon Ball content and everything. Matter of fact, I got a lot to say about Sparking Zero. I'm tired of all the hate on Sparking Zero. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. But I have a completely different video for you guys. A completely different video. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. What's so good about being alive? What is the push that we all have to continue this very torturous game we humans play on a day-to-day basis? Just follow me here. I question this every single day I wake, because in all actuality, you do not choose to wake. I mean, evidently, you did not choose to be alive. You did not choose to be on this planet. You didn't choose to have what you have, your parents, any of these things. Even to be the I that you consider that yourself to be, you didn't choose any of it. All of that was handed to you, given to you. Everything you feel, experiences, your perspective, everything is so based off of the experience that you've had being alive. The biggest thing I want to touch upon is just the physicality, the flesh of it all. My question is every single day I am alive, I ask, how can I not want to be alive? How can I not want to be conscious? Not want to be conscious, I mean, people love to just scream 988 for you or try to throw a lot of religious fervor at you without actually thinking about the question first. See, because you do wake up in this world, in this realm, you have a series of problems if you choose to look at it in that way. Of course, perspective and POV of the individual is really what's going to shape the reality in our actuality. But for most, you need money. You need to survive. You want this. You want that. You need this and you need that. I mean, that is the game that we all play. If you do not have A, X, Y, whatever variable you want to use, then you make yourself unhappy because of that. You tell yourself, you almost choose to cause your own depression because you do not have X amount of money, X amount of things, X person, whatever it is, X amount of status. Why? What is so good about being alive? I ask that question every day. The actions that you have to commit, or the actions that you choose not to commit, you cannot get out of. There's only two choices. There's only A and B. To play the game of existence, to play the game of the human life, the game of the human experience, or kill yourself. Or crash out in many different ways. A and B cover the infinite amount of options you have, but they all encompass pretty much the same point. Try your best to become quote-unquote successful within the definitions that you choose to abide by. Or jump off a fucking bridge. You end it all, or you do the other various ways of crashing out. That's at least what we like to say in our day and age. I've been trying to work on not wanting anything. I've been trying to work on not needing, wanting anything, not even wanting. I never wanted to be alive in the first place. So that part is really easy for me. But to not be at work and desire to be at home or to be anywhere. I mean, because that's what causes the suffering. Because you are where you think you don't want to be, you suffer for it. You think, oh my God, when am I gonna get out of here? Oh, how long is it gonna take? How long is it gonna take? Da, 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 you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, all the work you gotta do, whatever, all the BS that you have to deal with when being at whatever job you choose to be, unless you actually enjoy your job. But 99% of people who are working their jobs don't enjoy where they are. What is so good about being alive? Why would I want to get up tomorrow? What is so good about me being able to wake up tomorrow? To have to get up and do the actions of survival? I mean, I have to ask, what is so good about if I'm alive for the next 10, 15 years, 20 years? Of course, anything can happen, anything good and bad can happen. But then that same thing you may get, you're going to be fearing if you lose it. So if you amass a amount of wealth, then think about how many people have won the lottery. Just let's start with this statistic. Most people who win the lottery, they lose that money because they never really knew how to manage it. And then they spend the rest of their lives trying to get it back. Or, like 99% of people, and the 1% that actually succeeded, if you call it success, you spend your entire youth, the richest you will really ever be when you're young. You spend your entire youth trying to amass wealth that you will never, ever really get. And then even when you get it, you're fearing that you will lose it, or trying to do everything you can with it to fill the hole that is left from not having the energy anymore. Because you used it all when you was young. Of course, this is in every situation, everybody. It's one aspect of the human experience as far as money and the complex that comes into it. But I have to ask, is the experiences, was it really necessary? Was it necessary for light to be brought into the universe? Was it necessary for your parents to bring you here? Was it necessary? Necessary meaning the point of it. When because you go to work, right? Because you need food and blah 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 blah, and water and shelter to survive. And at least that action within a vacuum has a point to it. It's necessary. But without the factor of the fact that your heart is beating and you're conscious, that no longer becomes a necessary action, but you were thrown into it. That's why I choose to stay celibate, no matter how successful I ever become or not. I'm not bringing another human into this existence, dragging them from the peace that is non-existence, without having to deal with the mind and the flesh, the body, as redundant as that is, and the multiplayer lobby that is this world. What is the solution, to these feelings, to these emotions? Do you have to act on these things? Do you? Do I have to act on my rage and not wanting to exist? The fact that I do not choose to wake. My body just waits. I have to make the decision if I'm going to get up and do A, B, C, D, F, G, and 9 times out of 10, you probably will. Or you do B. and you do the inaction or the quote-unquote wrong actions, either way, you still have to suffer the consequences and all the above. The same way if you do quote-unquote the right things. Either way, you do not get out of it until the body drops, until you no longer are conscious. So was it necessary? I believe it really wasn't at all for humanity to exist as a whole. Things do just happen. You have to kind of accept that, and if there is any higher power or anything you believe in religious-wise, and for speaking about most monotheistic religions, then they tell you you can't question these things. and you should just let it's funny, you have to use a lot of religious fervor and delusion to help you cope going through the experience, the human experience. It's funny because a deer, when it's looking for food, or when a spider catches a fly, it doesn't think to itself and be like, wow, I'm such a good fly catcher. Oh wow, I finally caught this food. Or when it doesn't catch food, it doesn't sit there and be like, oh my god, I can't catch food. What am I gonna do? Part of it maybe is just because of the sentiency we humans have. Consciousness. Is it a curse? Is it a blessing to be conscious? Oh, my stuff didn't mess up there. I don't know what's going on. But I just have to question these things. You know, I have to really ask, because if I wake up tomorrow, sometimes I really hope I don't. Can't even lie to you. I have to play the game of existence, or choose B, which is still playing the game of existence. I have to do so. I have to make some type of choice. I'm forced into making a choice, whatever it is, and you are too. You are forced into that same choice every single day, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, and day out. Day out. Sometimes, you know, people claim that this life is so short. But, I mean, depending on the POV of the individual, life is so long. And depending on what you do in your life, they give you 20 years. It's gonna be a long time. What is so good about being alive? I have to ask. Try to be patient with it all. Meditate on taking the thinking activity away from taking the attention from the thinking activity more into the awareness that you truthfully are. Again, because of my intelligence, sometimes it's hard to, because I know I'm just focusing on just the natural sensations that you've been had since you woke up in existence. Trying to stay in that space, you know, you may think you need to stay in the cave for it, so you could be away from it all, to stay quiet, for it all to be quiet. Truthfully, never all will be quiet ever until it all ends. And I'm trying to be patient for that ending, for the collective consciousness to finally fall. It's all I truthfully could say, that if I have to want anything, it would be that. But then maybe that's just the human desires, the flesh too. But I have to ask, you know, there's such a unfair game you play. every single day. Of course, they're gonna tell you, most humans are very hedonistic. I mean, damn near everybody I've tried to talk about this to is very hedonistic. They're gonna tell you, oh, get women, especially because I'm trying to stay celibate and still celibate at 20 years old. I'll tell you, you have a lot of life to live. That's not the point. The things that you want cause you to suffer. Simply. Because you want A, want X, want B, again, whatever variable you want to choose, you suffer for those same things to then want something else that's going to cause you to suffer again. Humans don't make any sense to me. They really don't. And because this body needs so much, it has to be fed if you're lucky, if you're not addicted to food and not addicted to the quote-unquote sustenance that you think your body needs, if you're lucky, 8 to 12 hours you gotta feed your body, at least. But for most people, it's every 3 to 4 hours. People are so addicted to food and all these different substances, and I'm not trying to sit there and say, yeah, I'm not around that same level. What else is there to do with the time other than trying to make money or succeed in the dreams that you conjure up in your mind? As complex as all that kind of sounds, it's truthfully just what we do every single day. Get bored of it all because it's not really my choice. It's just what you have to. It's just what you have to do. And then trying to become more valuable in society, in the marketplace. I mean, if that's, if you really go out that way, to then sacrifice the youth that you have been given just so you can try to gain that youth back with your money, but you can never buy back time. No matter how much money you get, you can never buy back time. It's gone. You spend 30 hours, 40 hours, 50 to 80 hours at your job, you never get that time back. Your richest moments are when you were young, is what I've come to find. The way I feel right now, my energy levels, my health, is the richest I will ever really be. There's a lot of people who can't move at all, but even people who have been born abled cannot move the way I can move. Again, it's all about trying to look at things with a different perspective. At this point I have no perspective of my own, really. It's easier that way. I'm just trying to look above every perspective and be more objective about the situation that we're in as human beings, the experience that we live in on a day-to-day basis, and just acting accordingly. Of course, they're going to tell you it's what you make it. Your purpose. What you believe you should be doing in your life. What you have to accomplish. Your fate. Destiny. Oh, Lord. God, oh man. I don't really believe in those things. A, because they subsequently kill any free will that we believe that there is, which makes the whole game rigged as a mother effort. Like I said, it all depends on the perspective of the individual. And that's the only way you can really be successful. In your delusions. In your delusions is the only way I believe you can really be successful. Because either you make a whole lot of money and you do Diddy things, Epstein things, you crash out. Lil Durk, King Von, Juice WRLD, these were all people I've just named. They all had millions and millions and millions of dollars. They could have done anything or nothing. They could have just shut out. Why didn't they? Why did Diddy do what he had to do what he did? Why did Epstein do what he did? Why did Juice WRLD do what he did? Trauma, past conditions, still believing your past trauma, still identifying with the personality that you exist, the body that you exist in. I have to ask these questions. I mean, I play this game every day forcefully. I don't choose to do this at all. I wake up every day without my choice, without my permission. And now because my body is still breathing, because I still have lungs, air going through my lungs, I have so much other BS, or good things, bad things, however you want to look at it, perspective, that I have to do. Or the choice, the inaction, or the actions, good and bad, however you choose to classify these things. And then deal with the consequences of both, the reactions of both, the cause and effect of both. You cannot get out of that. And you didn't put yourself in it. Well, you do in some cases. You can lessen your suffering here if you play the game right, but you suffer either way. What are you willing to sacrifice through your suffering? What is so good to give up for? Give it all up. And then it's I can go all day about children and how it's so unmoral to have children, especially when you are not in a position to actually raise your children and have the money to fund, yes, their entire lives. That is really, you force them into that game. But most people think it's some type of blessing to keep doing so, other than just the innate. If there is any point or any purpose on this planet, then it's the same purpose that every single species has, is that's just to survive and to reproduce. And that's the only thing that I can somewhat give some pass about, because it's a biological thing, like having a mate is, same thing. Humans seem to not be able to stay alone for some reason. They can't deal with the loneliness, their own mind. We try so hard to escape ourselves. What are we trying to escape? I don't know exactly. I know. The truth is, I believe you do not have to act on anything. The body will fade. The consciousness will fade. Well, not really. Energy can never be destroyed, only transferred. I have no idea where my consciousness will go after my body falls, but eventually the flesh will fall. What will be left? And all I'm trying to make sure is that I don't need anything else. I don't want anything else before the body falls. That's all. I don't need to achieve anything. I can walk through the flames, crawl over the glass for the sake of saying I did so. I don't even need to say I did so. Just cause. Just cause. Truthfully, I'm not here. It's how I believe I exist in the name that I've been given. I play that role, but truthfully, I'm above it all. I look down, but not in superiority, but in awe. Trying to understand the game, the humanity of it all. Trying to let go of the apathy, but be more understanding without the emotions. It's kind of hard to explain, but I hope you get my point. To strive for it all, but to not need any of it. Truthfully, it's why I'm making this video. What do I have to lose? If anybody listens, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. If not, it helps to get this off my chest either way. I think about this every day I wake up. Sometimes I curse the plane of existence because my anger goes so high up. Then I just meditate, allow the waves of emotions to finally settle, because it all settles eventually. all fades eventually. It all ends. Good and bad, it all ends. So be present on the ride to heaven or hell. That's what I say. And believe in your heart of hearts that where you end up, you will be just fine. I believe that it really is the only way towards peace. I don't believe happiness really exists. You can never be gleeful every single day. It does not exist for a human at all. But you can find your peace in the chaos that you exist in the body that you exist in. I believe so, at least. But it's been your boy Omni. Thanks for listening. Peace out.